Valentine's Day is on its way, and are you ready? If you're single, if you're newly dating, or if you are in a relationship, this is kind of a big day and slightly stressful. I'm dating with Katy, and today I'm going to help you out so that you have a fabulous February 14th. Well, thanks so much for watching today or listening. I hope that you have subscribed. I hope that you will send this to a single friend. I also hope that you get a chance to get in my database. I have singles that I work with and I'm a matchmaker for. And when I work with Cinqe Matchmaking, I am truly looking for the top of the top, what I call the 20%ers for my clients to be dating. And I have clients that are female and clients that are male. If you're interested, go to the link, check it out, work with me, and we will have a great 2023. Now, it doesn't matter if this is Valentine's Day or if it's another holiday or if it's a birthday. This is a great podcast on just figuring out how do we navigate holidays, presents, expectations for any of the big anniversaries, birthdays, things like that. Now, I'll share a little bit about my past. Now, when I was married, my ex-husband was not into gift giving. I am a gift giver. If you have not done your love languages, this would be a great time for you and your partner to go do that. I believe there's a website, lovelanguages.com. Huge, great book. But if you're a gift giver and if you like getting gifts, this is a big deal. Celebrations are a big deal. So you really need to know your partner. Now, on the very first Christmas when I was with my ex-husband, I am a gift giver. And I bought him so many gifts, all that had a great meaning, wrapped up so beautifully. And literally, because gifts are so important to me, and because I know exactly what I want as a person, I'm very detail-oriented. I gave him a list on our first Christmas of the exact presents I wanted with SKU numbers. Now, the presents that I got under the tree were none of those because he felt he wanted to be creative. And so he gave me a few presents that were nothing from my list because he wanted to surprise me. I didn't want to be surprised. I wanted exactly on my list. And I remember he got me this Gap sweater that was like a lime green sweater with those big fish sparkles on it, like not the little sparkles, but the kind of wide ones that look a little mermaidish, fishish. And look, I love sparkles, but I surely don't want giant-sized sparkles on my tiny body. There was nothing I loved about the sweater, but he thought, well, it's sparkly, she'll like it. And I just remember being very disappointed that first Christmas. But it was because we didn't really understand each other's love languages and what was the expectation of our first Christmas. Now, continually, we had our first Valentine's right after that. And, you know, there was a point where we didn't have a lot of money. We were young, newly in love. I got pregnant quickly. And so it wasn't going to be a sexy Valentine's Day. And we didn't have any money anyway. So I remember we went out for pizza. And we decided that every year for Valentine's Day, we were going to go out for pizza. And because we worked in ministry, I thought it'd be a really good idea to surprise somebody else, some other couple that we knew that perhaps didn't also have money, with $100. So for that Valentine's Day, we created this tradition of pizza and $100 to another couple because we knew that, like, at the end of the day, we were young and we didn't need fancy dinners, and that just wasn't our lifestyle, and we wanted to bless others. So that was a really cool thing that he and I did, and we did that for many years, and I continue that tradition with my kids for Valentine's Day. But now, fast forward, single, dating again, you know, meeting someone right before a holiday or a birthday or an anniversary or Valentine's Day, like, how do you navigate these situations? Today, I'm going to talk about 3 things. Number 1 is your expectations, because number 2, nobody reads minds. And number 3, I'm going to give you some really good tips. So you're going to want to stick around. I have about 10 of them for you to have a very special holiday, whatever holiday it is, with somebody that you really love. So let's talk about expectations. Obviously, the story that I just shared tells you a lot about how people perceive and often think that you're going to expect what I'm expecting. And again, like I said, nobody reads minds. That was my number 2. So first off, how long have you been dating someone? How long have you been seeing someone? Ladies, I also want to impress this on you. If you just met this guy, please do not expect the world of him on Valentine's Day. He is nervous. He just met you maybe last Christmas and he is like, oh my goodness. Or maybe it's your birthday and you're listening to this podcast and you just met this guy. Most guys are not going to go all out on the first holiday. They might be an all-out kind of guy, and I'll tell you what, if he went all out, you might think he's love bombing you, and then you won't even like that. So it's kind of a catch-22 for men. If you're in an early stage of dating a girl, just check in with her and say, you know, what would you like for your birthday this year? What would you like for Valentine's Day this year? Like, I'm getting to know you and I'd love to know you better. So always communicate what kind of expectation somebody has and what kind of expectation you have. You know, and here's another thing. What is the budget? So again, I just saw this with a client. He really likes a girl and he bought her some beautiful Tiffany's things. And she's like, he's love bombing me. Actually, he's not. He really adores you and wants to bless you because he can. So be mindful of the budget. Just like when I was with my ex-husband, we were young, in our 20s. Pizza was exciting to us. That was fine. So communicate the budget, maybe be creative with the budget, and figure out who's going to pay for what. Of course, I always think this is my deal. And this is the next part of this question, is who's going to plan the day? Whether it's your birthday, whether it's the Valentine's dinner, who's going to plan that? Now, I as a woman, I love to plan things. And I know there's lots of guys who are great planners as well. But on Valentine's Day, this is the one day I want my man to do the planning. So I have a rule with anybody I date at this point that for my birthday and for Valentine's Day, he must do all the planning. Like, I am very opinionated. I know what I like. I will share with you what I like, but I need him to run these days so that I feel really special. And in a relationship, I usually do 80% of the planning, and I don't mind. I like it, then I always get kind of what I want. If the guy's flexible, now if he's super into it too, then I can let him take some of the reins. But ladies, don't be upset if this man is not a Mr. Planner. If he is a Mr. Moneymaker, then be grateful for that and let him go do what he's great at. And if he's great at planning these really cool things, then let him run with that too. But ladies, don't be afraid to step up and help out. Men really do appreciate it when you give input, bring ideas to the table, and even then, he can still run with it, but you could do kind of a baseline so that he has ideas of what you want. So with that, we have to understand how long have you been dating? So what are those expectations? What's the budget? Let's be honest. I had a great Valentine's last year that I did not plan, and it was Napa, and it was hot air balloons, and it was pretty dresses and fancy dinners and wine tasting. But hey, that was after multiple years of dating someone. So I didn't have that every year. We had to communicate and work through that with the expectation that, hey, I need you to plan this for me because I hate the idea that I am planning my own Valentine's when I plan everything else. And then again, tell him your thoughts, ladies. So again, expectations and reading your mind. We've got to get clear on this. This is just communication 101, but on a holiday, even more important. I just met with a friend and she was saying how they were trying to plan their New Year's and they were going between two different ideas, and her boyfriend was trying to help organize some things, but then he canceled part of the plan, and then she came back and somebody else came. It was chaos, and a lot of space and grace is needed, but clear definition of what are my expectations, what are things I love, make a list. Here's another idea, have a lifeline. So guys, I'm going to share this with you specifically, and ladies, you can do this as well. Since you don't read her mind and she doesn't want to always tell you exactly what to do because then she feels like she's bossing you or maybe even nagging you, have her bestie's phone number in your phone. So even with my older daughter, my daughter's 20, she knows me very well. She's like, Mom, if you're ever going to get engaged, like whoever you're going to get engaged with needs to call me to make sure that this is curated how you would love it. Because my daughter knows me well. But also my girlfriends know me well. So that is a great opportunity to reach out to one of her friends and say, hey, these are my ideas. What do you think? Or what do you think Katy's thinking about? Have you heard her say anything? Have you seen her shopping and she really likes something? Could you help me out? There's nothing wrong with having a lifeline. I think even game shows have lifelines, right? You can make a call. So keep that in mind. Now, when you are coming together with some really good ideas, these are the ones I want to share with you. I understand gifts can be a little stressful on a guy, even on a woman. Like, I love giving gifts, but guys, even my boys, I'm never quite sure what to give them. So here are a couple ideas, creative ways to say I love you without always having to say I love you, because maybe you're not quite ready yet. So one of the things you could do is get something like a monthly subscription. I'm not talking about a magazine, I'm talking about like champagne monthly subscription or flowers monthly subscription. You don't need a subscription online. All you really need to do is call a florist. Call a florist and say, hey, I'd love to buy this woman flowers, for the next 6 months, and I want you to take care of them and bill them to me. That is creative. So it's not just the one-time roses with baby's breath, which, by the way, I am a firm believer that baby's breath are just yucky filler. Not my favorite. Ask what kind of flowers she likes. Ask who her favorite florist is if you are going to do the flowers route, or find out from her friend in that lifeline. You could also do like chocolates for a month. There's so many subscription boxes out there that could be really fun and kind of continue on the love, not just on that day. Something else you could do is, nowadays, believe it or not, nobody has real photos. Everything is stuck on your phone. So there's so many great ways online now that you can create sweaters with photos on it. You can create photo books. You can create a framed photo. I mean, how many of you actually printed out a picture over at CVS? You can do it off your phone, go pick them up 1 hour and put it in a frame. If you did that for her, she'd love it. Guys actually love that too, because that's not their natural thing to do. You could also make undies with your photos on it. Have you seen those? You can put her face on, your face on their undies. It's very cute. You can do socks. You can do keychains. Lots of things you can do with special photos that you two have. What about this? I mean, everybody needs a good hotel night. So book a hotel, and look, it doesn't have to be on Valentine's. Let her know that you're planning on a special day. Maybe play a little hooky from both of your jobs, from the kids, from whoever, and get hotel with room service. Now that's what I love. I love the idea of just snuggling, staying, and enjoying each other. So hotel or room service, anyone? Ding, ding. What about ladies? What are you gonna be doing for your man? Now look, at the end of the day, feed the man, right? And there are multiple ways you can be feeding the man. Make him his favorite dinner and maybe one of his favorite outfits. If you can clear the house out, if there's no kids, you can always call for takeout and bring it in one of his favorite outfits. There's definitely ways that you can feed him, if you know what I'm saying. How about go back to where it all began? That's a very romantic way to kind of redo and remind each other of what's special, and write yourselves a little journal. Maybe every year start doing a journal, a memory journal of your Valentine's Day together or your first date or whatever it is. In some way, kind of reenact that moment, or if you want, role play that moment and run with that. Now, we all know dinner reservations can be really tricky on Valentine's Day. Maybe skip the day, go the next day, go the after, do a brunch. But make sure you get that resi now. So whenever you hear this podcast, even if it's months, maybe you hear me in August, I'm telling you, sometimes you need to plan way ahead. And I actually posted something in December that said, hey, it's Christmas, but have you planned for Valentine's Day? So always have an idea in the back of your mind, book it out if you need to. Right now, maybe get on your phone and make that reservation. And if you don't know where, you're just gonna have to figure that out. You can Google all of this nowadays. You can Google romantic restaurants in my city, romantic ideas. Guys, there is no reason that you cannot plan something. So I'm not a believer in the victim mentality, especially in romance. In this day and age, no more phone books. You can actually just Google it all. So no excuses there. I know for some of you, you have kids, you're blending kids, or maybe someone you're dating has a few kids. So you know what? Encourage a family Valentine's Day. Google some family fun game ideas. Just do a pizza night and game night with kids. Always a good idea. Every year I decorate the table. I do some cheesy stuff with my kids. They are my Valentine. I love them. I invite my dad over, and we always still decorate and eat a great family meal for Valentine's Day. We did fondue last year for dessert because you got to have a little chocolate. So do something fun and incorporate the kids. Always a good idea, whether Valentine's Day or not. Hidden love notes, scavenger hunts, kisses on windows and mirrors, lipstick messages. Go back to those little things that mean a lot to each other, and whether that's back rubs or coupon cards that say I'm gonna massage your feet. Sometimes it's the little things that keep you guys going. Ladies, I just want to encourage you to wear some perfume, put on some makeup, go to Dry Bar and get your hair done, whatever you need to feel sexy. Now, I've just created the program, 7 Steps to Sexy. I know what it's like to be in the grind of kids, in the grind of working, and not feeling super sexy. So when a day like this comes to celebrate and to be with your man, it's a little bit hard to get in that zone. Now, guys, I always say you've got to warm her up like a crock pot. It is your job to really press in and kind of encourage her to feel that and give her the space to do what she needs to do to get in that sexy. But ladies, go get in that sexy. And if you need help, go get my 7 Steps to Sexy. And lastly, if you really need help, girls, all you have to do is text them where and when and see how that goes for you. Well, I hope some of these ideas were fun and playful. I think you can use most of them any time of the year. Enjoy your Valentine's Day. Thanks so much for subscribing. I hope you get confident, be successful, and have some fun dating. All right, cheers until next time.